guys, so if you've ever listened to the radio, you've heard a four-chord pop song. They're a staple and a cliche of the pop world. There are literally hundreds of songs that follow this one particular chord progression. Every popular music performer and band has at least one four-chord pop song, including the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Blink-182, Journey, Taylor Swift, Pink, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Marley, and Lady Gaga. Right, everyone? And I'll put a link to a Wikipedia page with an extensive list of songs that use this chord progression below in the description. So the chord progression goes as follows. It starts on a 1, goes to the 5, then to the 6, and then to the 4, and then it repeats. So in the key of C major, we would have the chords C, G, A minor, and F, and then repeat. So this chord progression sounds great. But why? So firstly, this chord progression is diatonic. It's all in a single key. And in our case, it's in the key of C major. This means all the chords use the same 7 notes, in our case, the white notes on the piano, and therefore they sound related to each other. And secondly, this chord progression is really just 2 cadences, one after the other. Now, a cadence is a progression of usually 2 chords that creates a sense of final resolution in a progression. We build tension and then we resolve that tension in a cadence. And the 2 main types of cadences are a perfect cadence, so a 5-1, and a plagal cadence, or a 4-1. And another thing to note is that the 6 chord is a substitute for the 1 chord. So for example, our 1 chord is C major, so we have the notes C, E, G, and our 6 chord is an A minor, so we have the notes A, C, E. So they have 2 out of 3 notes in common. This means these 2 chords sound similar to each other and therefore can substitute for each other, and in technical language they share the same function. Now, I have a separate video on functionality, but essentially all it means is that the 2 chords serve the same purpose. They are both resolution chords. That is, both the C and the minor are used to resolve a chord progression. So now let's look at our 4-chord pop chord progression again. So we have a 1, 5, 6, 4, and then we repeat by going back to the 1. Now if we get rid of the 6 and instead substitute in the 1, so get rid of the A minor and instead play C major, we now have a 1, 5, 1, 4, 1 chord progression, again with the repeat at the end. So really it's the tonic chord, the 1 chord, then a perfect cadence, followed by a plagal cadence. Now if we swap the 6 chord back in, we have the tonic chord, then a 5, 6, which is a deceptive cadence, but it's still effectively functioning like a perfect cadence. It's working the same way because that A minor chord is a substitute. It's very similar to the C major. And then we continue on and have our plagal 4-1 cadence at the end. And finally, the chord progression follows the rules of harmonic rhythm. Now, I have a separate video on harmonic rhythm, but the important point here is that we hear chords in groups of 4. So it's not a coincidence that a pop song has 4 chords. Further, the strongest sounding chords, the chords with the most emphasis, are chords 1 and 3 in a progression, while the weakest chords with the least emphasis are chords 2 and 4. So a sequence of 4 chords follows the pattern strong, weak, strong, weak. And we like to hear songs build tension on weak chords, so chords 2 and 4, and resolve tension on strong chords, so chords 1 and 3. And that's precisely what this chord progression does. It starts on a tonic on the strong chord, builds tension by going to the 5 on a weak chord, resolves that to a tonic substitute, another strong chord, then moves on to another weak chord, the 4, and then resolves that back to a strong chord, the tonic. So in this way, we're establishing the tonic, building tension, resolving that tension, building tension, and then resolving that tension with the repetition. And that, in a nutshell, is why the 4-chord pop song sounds great. Cool, thanks for watching guys, see ya.